Namaste children. How are you all? I hope you all are fine. Children, today the chapter which I am going to discuss with you all is Discovering Touch, the Saga continues. Saga here refers to long story of a series of happenings. And the writer of this chapter is A.R. Williams. Children, this story deals with the mysteries and theories regarding life and death of King Tut. King Tut was a powerful Egyptian king. He died in his teenage, in his early age. When he died in his teenage, people became excited to know about the exact reason of his death. Then, Howard Carter, who was a British archaeologist, started his search, and finally he discovered King Tut's tomb in 1922. But his search caused a great damage to King Tut's mummy. Mummy means a preserved dead body. After his futile search, Zahid Hawass, the Secretary General of Supreme Council of Antiquities, scanned King Tut's mummy to know the exact reason of his untimely death. So children, in this chapter we will come to know either they were able to find out the exact reason of his early death or not. So let's start with the explanation of the chapter. He was just a teenager when he was died. Children, you know that he here refers to King Tut, the last heir of powerful family that had ruled Egypt and its empire for centuries. So he belonged to a powerful family who ruled over Egypt for centuries. And one more important point which is shared by the writer is that King Tut was the last successor of this powerful family. It means after him no one ruled the empire. He was laid to rest laden with gold. When he was put in his graveyard, he was laden with gold. Since the discovery of his tomb in 1922, the modern world has speculated. Speculated means forecast. That people were forecasting about what happened to him, with murder being the most extreme possibility, as people were forecasting different reasons of his death. But somewhere they believed that it was not a natural death. King Tut was murdered by someone. Now, leaving his tomb for the first time in almost 80 years, children, be careful. In almost 80 years, Tut has undergone a CT scan that offers new clues about his life and death. So King Tut's mummy had undergone a CT scan after 80 years to get the exact data of his untimely death, the exact data of the boyish Pharaoh's death. Children, Pharaoh is an Egyptian king, and here this word is used for King Tut. An angry wind stirred up ghostly dust devils as King Tut was taken from his resting place in the ancient Egyptian cemetery known as the Valley of the Kings. When King Tut's body was taken out of his tomb for a CT scan, children, you'll be surprised to know that the nature started protesting this procedure, this process. The nature protested the king taking out of its tomb. Dark-bellied clouds here refers to heavy clouds, had scudded across the desert sky all day and now were filling the stars in casket grey. So what was happening? Dark clouds covered the stars. The weather had been overcast the whole day. The night sky was hidden by the heavy clouds. It was 6 p.m. on 5th January 2005. The world's most famous mummy glided means moved, into a CT scanner brought here to probe. Probe refers to prove the lingering medical mysteries of this little understood young ruler who died more than 3,300 years ago. Children, you underline these words which are used by the writer to describe King Tut. He says, he was a little understood young ruler. We all know that he died in his teenage. It's quite obvious that he was very young. But why did the writer say he was little understood? Children, as he ruled over Egypt for a very short period of time, so people did not get much time to know about him. That is why the writer is using this term to describe King Tut, that he was a little understood young ruler. A CT scan was done. A CT scan of this little understood young ruler who died more than 3,300 years ago was done to know the reason behind his untimely death. All afternoon, the usual line of tourists from around the world had descended into the cramped, rock-cut tomb some 26 feet underground to pay their respect. Children, King Tut's tomb is lying in the ancient Egyptian cemetery, which is known as the Valley of Kings, and it is 26 feet underground. Children, when people came to know that his tomb has been discovered by Howard Carter, a number of tourists from around the world came to visit King Tut's tomb to pay their regard, to pay their respects. They gazed at the murals on the walls of the burial chamber. Children, here murals refers to the paintings which were hung on the wall. And burial chamber here refers to the graveyard. So the paintings which were hung on the graveyard, people started watching them. King Tut's gilded face, gilded means his face was fully covered with gold, is the most striking feature of King Tut's mummy. Some visitors were reading guidebooks in their low voice. Others were standing silently and they were pondering. Pondering means they were thinking deeply. Children, what were they thinking deeply? They were thinking deeply about the reason of King Tut's in his teenage. They were thinking about the reason of King Tut's untimely death. Or wondering with a shiver if the Pharaoh's curse, death or misfortune falling upon those who disturbed him. And some were even shivering because they were recollecting, they were remembering King Tut's curse. What was his curse? When he was alive, he said, after his death, if someone tries to touch his tomb or his body, misfortune may fall upon them. And it may possible that they die. So they were afraid of King Tut's curse also. The mummy is in very bad condition because of what Carter did in 1920s, said Zani Hawass, Secretary General of Egypt's Supreme Council of Antiquities, as he removed the body for a long first look. Zani Hawass, when he removed the body for the first time, he said that Howard Carter's search caused a great damage to King Tut's mummy, and he felt very upset. Howard Carter, that is, was the British archaeologist. We have already discovered who discovered King Tut's tomb in 1922. Tut's tomb, after years of futile searching, its contents, though hazily ransacked in antiquity, were surprisingly complete. Though after Howard Carter's search, it caused a great damage to King Tut's mummy. But it was surprising for Zani Hawass that all the contents were safe and the contents remain the richest royal collection ever found. And these contents had caused a sensation and continue to draw people's attention even today. Tut was also buried with everyday things. When he was buried, he was not buried alone in his graveyard. So many things were also kept along with his body. So let's see the things which were kept along. They were board games. Board games means games of chess, a bronze razor, linen undergarments, cases of food and wine. Cases means boxes of food and wine. Because people believe in rebirth. They believe in life after death. After months of carefully recording the king's funerary treasures refers to those things which were valuable and which were kept along with King Tut's body in his graveyard. Carter began investigating his three-nested coffin. When Howard Carter started his search, he found King Tut's body in three nested coffins. Opening the first, when he opened the first layer, of three nested coffin, he found a shroud. shroud means a piece of cloth which is used to cover the body. He found that shroud adorned means decorated with garlands of willow, olive leaves, wild celery, lotus plants and cornflowers. The faded evidence of a burial in March or April. When he saw that the shroud was decorated with a number of plants and flowers and leaves, they were giving an evidence that the burial of King Tut took place either in the month of March or April. When he finally reached the mummy, he ran into trouble. So finally when he reached the mummy, he was able to see King Tut's mummy. He put himself into trouble because what had happened was not a part of his plan. He had to face difficulties. Let's see what were those difficulties. The ritual resins had hardened, cementing Tut to the bottom of his solid gold coffin. He found that the resins means some sticky substances, which were used during the process of his funerals, they had hardened, and it became impossible for Howard Carter to remove King Tut's mummy from his three-nested coffin. And if he was not able to remove King Tut's mummy from his three-nested coffin, how can he get the information of his untimely death? No amount of legitimate force could move them, Carter wrote later. And then he became stuck. He faced a problem and he had no solution of that problem. The sun can beat down like a hammer this far south in Egypt, and Carter tried to use it to loosen the reasons. For several hours, he set the mummy outside in blazing sunshine that heated it to 149 degrees Fahrenheit. He tried to loosen the resins by putting the mummy outside the blazing sun that heated it to 149 degrees Fahrenheit. But nothing budged. Budged means moved. Nothing had happened. He reported with scientific detachment that the consolidated material had to be chiseled away. Consolidated means the hard material. Chisel means to be separated or to cut away. Finally, he reported that the solid material had to be separated away, had to cut away from under the limbs and trunk to free King Tut's remains. Otherwise, it is not possible to get the final data, to get the exact reason of his early death. In his defense, Carter really had little choice. Children, you know he was talking about King Tut's mummy. He took a decision to cut King Tut's mummy in parts so that he could continue his search. But what he was planning, what he was about to do was not easy, because King Tut was a powerful king, the last successor of a powerful family. His death was not the death of a person. His death was not the death of a king. His death was the death of the whole dynasty. So in his defense, he gave one statement. He said, if he hadn't cut the mummy free, thieves most certainly would have befooled the guards and broke it apart to remove the body. If he doesn't do it, if he doesn't break it, thieves will befool the guy who was standing outside, for taking care of King Tut's mummy, for taking care of King Tut's grave. They will remove gold from the mummy, and finally the same will happen what he is trying to do. In that time, the royals were fabulously wealthy, and they thought or hoped they could take their riches with them, as they believed in rebirth. They believed in life after death. For his journey to the great beyond, King Tut was lavished. Lavish means shod, laden with glittering golds, precious collars, necklaces, bracelets, amulets, a ceremonial apron, sandals, and now iconic inner coffin and mask. Children, each and everything, whatever was kept along with King Tut's body, was made up of gold, pure gold. To separate that from his adornments, Carter's men removed the mummy's head and severed means divided nearly every major joint. Once the process was over, once they had finished the process, they reassembled the remains. They reassembled King Tut's remains on a layer of sand in a wooden box with paper. Archaeology has changed substantially. In the intervening decades, focusing less on pressure and more on the fascinating details of life and intriguing mysteries of death. As archaeology has changed a lot. So after some time, earlier people were interested in knowing about the things which were kept along with King Tut's body. But now, they were no more interested in those mythical things. They did not want to know more about funerary prayers. Now, they were interested to know more about the reason of his death. They wanted to know what was the exact age of King Tut when he got died. It also uses more sophisticated tools, including medical technology. So in 1968, one research was done by Robert Carter, and now it was Zahi Hawass's turn. The writer says in 1968, more than 40 years after Howard Carter's discovery. He discovered King Tut's tomb in 1922. After his discovery, after 40 years of Carter's discovery, an anatomy professor means a professor who studies human bodies. He x-rayed the mummy and revealed a startling fact. Revealed means he disclosed. Startling means something which was surprising. So what did he say? What was his statement? He said, beneath the resin that cakes his chest, his breastbone and front ribs are missing. He said, under those sticky substances which became hard after so many years. His front ribs and his breast bones were missing. Children, I hope whatever we have discussed about King Tut's today, you'll be able to understand. That's all for today. Thank you.